The all-new Jackall Chopcut features an asymmetrical front-facing propeller that allows for smooth rotation and makes different noises depending on the retrieval speed, offering the ability to customize your presentation depending on the conditions. The lure measures 3.5 inches and weighs only 0.8 ounces, with 2 strong treble hooks attached to the body. A front wire extending past the propeller prevents your line from becoming tangled as it glides across the water. The Chopcut is cleverly designed to produce noise and vibrations that bring the lure to life, drawing in bass from a distance. Attract your target with a variety of retrieval styles. Using a steady retrieve, walking the dog, or working it like a popper will get the attention of fish seeking either fast or slow-moving bait. The value of a Chopcut lies in its versatility. A special coating on each hook helps it penetrate more easily, and the swiveling front hook feature prevents even the most forceful fish from spitting out the lure. Cut to the chase with the Jackall Chopcut, available in 6 different colors at your local retailer.
There are baits that simply explode onto the scene, like the new Berkley Choppo. Just cast and wind. This bait does the rest. The Choppo's large, durable propeller churns easily and creates a distinctive sound that draws fish in. Expect massive blow-ups. The Choppo's precision belly weighting allows it to track true at all speeds. It won't roll over, even in heavy chop. Twin strong, sharp Fusion 19 hooks penetrate easily, so you land more fish.
Hey guys, the Choppo is one of the most fun and exciting baits to throw in the Berkley topwater lineup. What you're gonna love about it is how easy it is to use. You literally cast it out and reel it back in. The cup prop does all the work for you. And the key with this bait, you can throw it around flats, grass, docks, rocks, whatever you want. It's gonna get bit. I throw it on 50-pound braid, a 7'3" medium heavy or heavy action rod, and then I like a fast reel. I'm covering water with this bait, so a Revo STX 8-to-1 is the reel that I like for the Choppo. Some key features on the Choppo. Number 1 is the hard plastic tail design. That's what gives it the unique sound that it has. Number 2 is a belly weight in the keel. This is gonna keep the bait from rolling over, so you can reel it at really fast speeds if you want, and it's gonna stay true all the way back to the boat. And number 3 most important thing, and important with all topwaters, is just the weight of the bait. We have it in 2 different sizes, a 120 and a 90, and they're both heavy enough to use on a bait caster and make really long casts, and that's super key when you're fishing topwaters. And then not to mention, of course, the colors that we have in all the new Berkley topwaters. You're not going to find colors this good on any other baits out there.
The Choppo comes in 2 sizes, the 90 and 120, and 10 deadly colors.
Hey, largemouth, smallmouth, it does not matter. The Choppo is going to catch you some big bass just like that.
Here's one. God, it's a good one. Oh, God, God, don't do that. God, scared the death out of you. Come. Got it. God, look at that. Hey, everybody. Mike Iaconelli here. And you're looking at a classic Neko rig, but I know you're gonna notice something a little different. Coming out of the back end, it's a skirted Neko weight. VMC has been making these amazing little weights for this Neko rig system for a while, but now we've added a skirted version. If you look at this, this is a really special weight. The first thing is you see that series of grooves on that weight. Those grooves, once you put it into your bait, whether it's a soft stick bait or a worm, it's going to allow that weight to stay in there and not fly out. That's super key. But now when you look at the back of this weight, here's where the magic kicks in. You see a skirt built into the back of that weight. We're using a little bit of resin there to keep that skirt totally sealed in that weight. We've got a combination in that skirt of both silicone and living rubber to give it a really unique action, especially as it's puffing out. So just like a standard VMC weight, we're gonna put that into the thick end of the bait, make sure it's nice and straight. And I like to just leave a little bit of the tip of that weight sticking out. That way, when it's pecking on the bottom, you get that noise, you get a little bit of that silt, but it also allows that skirt to breathe. When I fish this bait, like a standard Neko rig, I'm shaking my rod a lot. I'm letting that weight peck the bottom, but I'll throw pauses in. And when I throw pauses into that, it's giving that bait a chance to settle, and that skirt is going to expand, just like a jig skirt, and I'm getting a lot of bites as I pause that bait from the pecking motion. You know, finesse fishing doesn't always mean small fish. It catches giants like that too. Give this thing a try. In my opinion, the hottest finesse bait around right now. Neko rigging, add that VMC, skirted Neko weight, it's over.
The amount of vibration this dude puts off is second to none.
You can fish it fast, you can fish it slow. It's the key bait to catch them once you find them.
It imitates everything those bass are keyed in on. One of the best tools we have as tournament anglers is something that can cover water. You know, being able to move through unproductive water to find those stretches of productive water is really, really important for us. So something that we can cast and retrieve back to the boat at a pretty steady to quick pace is something that is going to be a great tool for me. And there's really not much better tool out there on the market right now than a bladed jig.
This is the Terminator shuddering bait.
There is no other vibrating swim jig on the market that moves near the water that this bait does.
You know, there's a lot of different makers, a lot of different styles, but no one ever had one that I felt worked really good in the muddiest of water until I got my hands on these.
That cup design is very, very different. Most bladed jigs have a real thin metal blade. This is actually a plastic material, and having that cup is what makes it a lot different from everything else. It catches the water and actually moves the blade, which makes the whole jig move side to side so much more. That's really important when those bass are feeding heavy. If you look at this thing in the water, you can see that the jig head actually hangs down below the blade. So the blade's working, it's catching the water, but having the jig head set down below it, it's down there kind of doing its own separate thing. So they're working together separately.
And the other thing about it is big fish. I mean, you know, you're fishing for numbers, but at the same time, a lot of times I've caught the biggest fish in my tournament on a bladed jig.
And we've designed this to where it'll handle big fish. It's got a 5/0 custom VMC heavy-duty hook in it, and it's also got really strong components from the snap to the split ring that attaches the blade to the head. Every piece of it is geared towards catching big fish on.
Man, that's a beautiful fish. She ate that shuddering bait right in the corner of the mouth. Exactly how you want it.
It's just got a really, really good thump to it, and I can seem to get more bites fishing it slow, like practically dragging it on the bottom, actually.
The great part about this is it's heavy enough that I can make very targeted, low underhand casts, so it's not just an open water chunk and wind bait.
You know, just try to make the most accurate cast you can. And then when you get near the target, I like giving it a little snap here and there. Just seems like the more erratic your retrieve is, especially when you're fishing around visible cover like this.
When we were working on the shuddering bait, I wanted to pick out
several different colors that really fit my style of fishing, and we were able to do that. We've got 9 colors in it and 2 sizes, 3/8 and a 1/2 ounce. And dialing these colors in was something that was a lot of fun because we actually have the ability to match the blade to the bait. That's something that with most bladed jigs,
you know, you just don't have that ability. With the shuddering bait, we did.
we can dye that, or we can make it a matte finish as we did on like some of the black ones to where it doesn't have the flash when we don't want it. And the neat thing about this too as an angler, if you want to customize it, you can take that blade off and put it on one of the other jigs if you so choose.
Couple features on the shuddering bait.
Number 1 is a trailer keeper. You always fish this bait with some type of a trailer. Having a trailer keeper on there extends the life of that bait, and it makes more of your cast productive because your trailer is going to stay in place where it needs to be. I mean, an all-around great head design. That comes through cover extremely well.
A lot of the other baits that are like this, it's real hard to throw around brush like we're doing, but this one just deflects off everything. You just don't get snagged as often. You go back in there and you just think you can't get a bite. This is one of those baits that'll get you a bite or two.
That unique custom design cup lip catches and moves so much water that the amount of vibration this dude puts off is second to none.
Changing your trailer on the Booyah Melee can make the difference in catching fish or not catching fish. I'm gonna walk you guys through 4 types of trailers that I think are very important when fishing a Melee. If you want the most action out of your Booyah Melee, use a Yum Boogie Tail. This is the most aggressive action that you're gonna be able to get. It's gonna kick that bait left and right really hard. It's gonna trigger strikes to that left and right movement, so it's really for those aggressive fish when they're really feeding heavily. If you want to tone it down just a hair, but you still want a good swimming action, for instance, if you're fishing some cleaner water, some clearer water with the Booyah Melee, you're going to want to use the Yum Swimming Grub. It's got a really nice flowing tail. It's a 5-inch grub, so you can shorten it if you want to, or if you prefer a longer trailer, you can keep it the same length. What it does is it gives that bait a really nice swimming action with a little bit of kick left to right, so it's more of a natural presentation. If you prefer a paddle tail style trailer, then you're gonna wanna look at the Yum Swimming Ninger. This bait's gonna give a slight kick in the back, and it's gonna subdue the action just a little bit. It's gonna get a little bit of movement left to right, but you're also gonna get a very good kick action with the back of the bait. The trailer of choice if you wanna slow the Booyah Melee down and give it a natural look is the Yum 3.5-inch pulse. It's the perfect size. You don't have to trim it at all. You can slide it right on the hook shank, and it's ready to go. It's gonna impart a slower, more subdued action to the bait for a little less responsive fish. I can't stress the importance of trailer. Make sure you're using the correct Yum trailer on the Booyah Melee for the fishing conditions that you're facing, because it can be the difference in getting bites and not getting bites.
There's nothing more fun, in my opinion, than spoon jacking post spawn and catching big old bass and a lot of little old bass too, flipping and spoon jacking a river to sea worldwide spoon into boat docks. And it takes a particular type of boat dock, but a particular type of bait. And my new worldwide spoon with river to sea is designed perfectly for doing just that. When I pitch this spoon into a dock, it will flutter backwards and shoot itself up and underneath the docks, which is where you want this spoon to go, because that's where them bass will stage. They'll stage in the shade 99% of the time. This weighs a little over an ounce. It's just the right size, shape, and dimension for catching lots of fish. It's very important too, when spoon jacking, to get your spoon to act right, is to have the right size of line. And I use 20-pound Maxima fluorocarbon and nothing else. It doesn't matter how clear the water is, which you want it as clear as possible. Get your big flipping stick, a fast 7-to-1 gear ratio reel like this Bass Pro Qualifier. I use a Waft 7.5-foot flipping stick, 20-pound fluorocarbon, river to sea worldwide spoon. Designed to be a little shorter than your average spoon, a little wider in the back, but again, something that goes backwards into that boat dock. You want to flip your worldwide spoon, take it and you flip it in to the corner of the boat dock like that. So it shoots underneath those walkways. This is an empty stall, which makes it real easy. And all I'm doing is free spooling. See, that spoon's sinking. Now nothing's hit it or I would know. One, it stops sinking too soon. That's a fish. And then two, if you feel that line jerk, like that right there, there he is. I mean, that's a good fish. And you just never know. Look at the size of that one now. That's a nice fish. Worldwide spoon, get to work, baby.
Each Livetarget hollow body craw comes with replacement pincers. You might want to swap the original pincers out after wear and tear, if they've been bitten off, or if you simply want to switch colors from another hollow body craw. To make uninstallation easier, hold your hollow body craw upright with the weight facing to the left. Bring both craw pincers past the hook towards you. Within the body of the hollow body craw is a hook that holds the skirt and pincer assembly. On one side, the side facing you, the assembly hook has a small opening. Pass your assembly pin through the opening of that hook and it will pop off. Upon closer inspection of the assembly, you will notice a split ring on the front. This functions as a stopper. Gently but firmly pull the pincers off the opposite end of the assembly. In the same fashion, you can also remove the skirt. Replace with new pincers and skirt similarly. Gently but firmly push them onto the pin. Your assembly is ready for reattachment. Snap the pin back onto the assembly hook within the body of the hollow body craw. Set your pincers properly and your bait is once again ready to fish.
Hey guys, Captain Jay Withers here. Who doesn't love throwing soft plastic shrimp? I believe everybody. If you're a big fan of inshore or even nearshore fishing, I think that the shrimp is probably one of the most versatile go-to baits. And I tell you, Westin has hit the mark. The Westin Rigged and Ready shrimp is an absolute dynamic bait that I think we're going to catch a lot of fish on, whether you're fishing on the shallow flats or whether you're fishing even near shore or even dropping down to the bottom for offshore. The cool thing about this is its soft body is it had a 3D scan of a natural shrimp, so it is ready to go, lifelike action, no question about it. The weight is actually built into the body itself. It's got some incredible leg action. You can see them flutter while it's being used. Certainly there is a glass rattle inside, small little rattle, glass bead inside that makes a little bit of knocking noise, and of course it's natural whiskers along with it. You know, the cool thing about this is you're able to cast it, you know, for a small little presentation. The casting distance is actually pretty solid. You know, I'm a big fan of casting distance, but I'm also a big fan of durability. And when I picked up this shrimp and started using it, first thing I noticed is its internal mesh material that makes the bait very, very solid with the sectioned tails. It's hard to pull it off there, and I think that's going to be really good for overall durability and just overall function. You know, and I'll tell you, with the colors that we have, I believe there's, I don't know, 6 or 8 different colors in this, and in a variety of sizes. This is the smaller of the two sizes. Another one, I believe it's about 4 inches long. But you know, I tell you, for a shrimp, something that is easy to use, everybody can fish it. The rigged and ready shrimp by Westin, certainly something that I will have on the ready on one of my rods for sure, anytime we're out and about, because that right there, that presentation is an easy go-to. So if you haven't checked it out, the Westin Salty the Shrimp rigged and ready, there you go.
You are gonna love the Commotion Shad from Livetarget. It's an easy to use topwater lure that replicates an injured shad to perfection. Did I mention it's easy? Just cast and retrieve, and the perfectly balanced Colorado blade does all the work. The splashing commotion and penetrating sound, along with the tantalizing bubble trail, allows you to call fish from anywhere. Whether you're fishing open water, casting under docks, or working cover, there is nothing more tantalizing than an injured baitfish flailing on the surface. The extra sharp, wide gap double hook is designed and placed specifically to maximize hookups. Available in 2 sizes and 6 colors. The Commotion Shad by Livetarget.
Chad Warner here with Booyah Bait Co. So if you haven't thrown the Toad Runner yet, you're missing out on one of the best ways to cover water and possibly catch your personal best. If you're one of the thousands of guys and gals that have thrown the Toad Runner and are familiar with it, you know it's a larger profile bait designed by Jason Christie to catch big bass. Let's be real, most of us are not looking to catch giants all the time. Although that would be ideal, it's just not the way it goes. Sometimes you want to go out and catch every fish you can, no matter the size. That's when you tie on the Booyah ToadRunner Jr. It's a scaled down version that has a killer hookup ratio and it's a blast to fish. So I'm gonna give you the details on the Junior. ToadRunner Jr. is a plopping style bait frog that can be used in and around sparse cover, heavy cover, or even in open water. The clear tail rotates and creates a plopping sound that draws fish in. Why is the tail clear, you might ask? We wanted the fish to hone in on the bait and not the tail for a better hookup ratio. What's really cool is the moldable wire-form tail. You bend it towards the bait, it's gonna increase the sound. You bend it away from the bait, it's gonna decrease the sound. ToadRunner Jr. is built around its super strong 2-aught dual frog hook. Combine that with a soft, collapsible body, and your hookup ratio, man, it's gonna be strong.
Doesn't matter what type of cover that you're fishing, whether it be open water, stump flats, grass, heavy cover like what we have back here, this thing's an absolute blast to fish.